Today, we're going to be rating all the maps in Halo Wars 2. Now, we're going to be rating them based off of 3 different categories: uniqueness, gameplay, and the visuals of the map. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Badlands is this sandy, dusty map with all this wreckage and banished power lines spread throughout it. It's a 1v1 or 2v2 map. Gameplay wise, it's kind of known as being a stalemate city. It's really easy in a 2v2 or 1v1 to a total stalemate because of the way the map is set up. Not a very fun map to play on. Uniqueness wise, this map offers some overlook ridges that you can kind of dig in and do siege tactics on, but like I said, that's kind of what creates stalemate. Visually, to be honest, the map is kind of meh. There's not a lot going on. You got the queefing cactuses here and there, but overall it's not really that, pleasing to look at. There's nothing really special on the map visually, and for whatever reason, the map is a lot darker than the other desert maps. Like, here's a side-by-side of the other maps, and for whatever reason, this map is just like the exposure was turned down for some reason. So with rating these as well, I also want to throw out little Easter eggs that you may or may not know about the maps. And a little Easter egg about Badlands, it gets its name from being a bad map. Sentry. Like Badlands, we got the sand, we got the rocks, we've got the queefing cacti, we've got the butterflies, and just it's a lot brighter. The map is set up similarly like Badlands, where the bases are positioned, but instead of there being this huge gap area that only air units can cross, this map uniquely sports a light bridge in between the enemy teams. This light bridge can be captured by one team, and you can control when it turns on and off. It offers some unique gameplay because you can literally destroy entire armies just by the push of a button. Overall, this map is actually pretty fun to play on because you can break the stalemates like by using the bridge. It might be easy to super turtle on this map if you're a certain YouTube clan, but overall I feel like it's just easier to break the stalemates because there's different avenues that you can move your armies around. An Easter egg about this map is that there's actually retrievers that are under the ground. You probably noticed the big one under the blue light in the center, but there's actually a few more scattered around the map that are actually under the dirt, so here's a zoom in of that. Overall, Sentry is a pretty solid map, so we're going to put it in the C category. I'd give it a C+ though. Mirage. Mirage was one of the few DLC maps that we got from Awakening the Nightmare. Mirage can be played 2v2 or 1v1. Visually, it offers some dusty, like some pale sand and these pale crystals all around the map. Kind of gives it just a pale look, to be honest. The real beauty of the map is actually shoved to the outskirts of the map for whatever reason. You've actually got this cool, like, covenant ooze or goo, like, flowing down next to these crystals, and it actually looks really cool. I wish that this river would have actually gone through, like, the center of the map or somewhere where you can actually see it during gameplay, but to be honest, that it's just shoved in this corner makes it something that is easily missed. Gameplay wise, this map falls into the same reoccurring theme of a lot of the Halo Wars 2 maps, where there's just like a mini base in the center or 1 or 2 mini bases in the center of the map that you have to fight over. And with the way Halo Wars 2 is designed, how important it is to get your economy going, regardless, the stale gameplay offered here is nothing new. Though it is a DLC map, we didn't get anything new, so it's going to get points off for that. Overall, it's not a bad map, but it doesn't stand out, and you would think that because it would be a DLC map, they would have kind of got a little more creative, or they would have, taken some more creative liberties, or given us just something worth the extra money. But as it stands, it's kind of just an extra map that is kind of forgettable. Gonna go in the D tier. An Easter egg for Mirage. You may or may not have noticed it has this huge static wall in the back of the map. It's just kind of cool to look at. It's a unique visual effect. And there's actually permanently dead bodies, elite and grunt dead bodies around the map that never despawn. So it's kind of hard to notice them, but something you may or may not have known. Bedrock. Bedrock is a map that can be played 2v2 or 3v3. One of the cool things about the map is that it actually changes the size of the map depending on if you are doing 2v2 or if you bump it up to a 3v3, the map gets larger. Gameplay wise, it offers some unique gameplay mechanics, such as I call them the castle expos, which is that some of the expos have these fortified walls and two-way entrances, and then there's also overlook balconies, you could call them. So it kind of creates, like I said, like a more defendable expo. We've also got the center overlook towers. So instead of there being like a mini base in the center, all the mini bases are pushed to the back. So you'll kind of see that as a theme with what makes a good map and a bad map in Halo Wars 2, is that if the mini bases are kind of pushed to the back behind your teammates, that offers for a better base because there's not like a big dogfight in the middle just to get that extra mini base. It opens up the map to more possibilities because otherwise every map plays the same. It's every map you gotta rush to the center and get that control. Whereas in here, there's lots of resources in the center, and there's these overlook towers where you can kind of have little dogfights in the beginning, but it's not going to make or break the entire game if you don't get those extra supplies. Visually, this map is sleek. I love the Forerunner cake technology. It's like the whole map is kind of layered on top of Forerunner tech, and you can actually see through and see all the Forerunner tech below. It kind of reminds me of Epitaph from Halo 3. There's some cool cloud effects with the classic pink crystals. Now that I think about it, there's so many maps that have the pink crystals. It's almost like the developers played like just the Ark from Halo 3 and they saw like the little crystals on the ground and they were like, oh, the Ark has crystals, so every map now has to have crystals everywhere. So it does have the classic pink crystals, but I feel like it fits the aesthetic of this map pretty well. It's going to go in the A tier. For Bedrock, I couldn't really find a good Easter egg for the map, but I did notice by looking at the map, it is some sort of Forerunner power plant. It's kind of cool visually. It tells a story that extracting energy from these pink crystals, they're pushing it through the map and it's going to the other side. So something you may or may not have noticed. I also found this random crash pelican. I'm not sure why this is here, but it's always there. Fort Jordan. Fort Jordan was kind of like a bonus map that we got, but we kind of didn't get it because it was never added to multiplayer, which was really disheartening. It probably never will be, to be honest, but taking a tour of the map, it's like a very green, foresty map. It's a callback to Fort Dean from Halo Wars 1. One of the things I really like about this map is that it offers the one-way teleporters. It's the only map that has one-way teleporters, so you can't just, send your army through and then get them back right away. You gotta kind of commit to sending those forces across. And yeah, it is kind of broken to just send jump pack brutes through there and then just jump them up to your enemy's base and kind of wreak havoc on them. But it offers some gameplay variety, and I wish that it would be added to multiplayer. The vast open areas offer large encounter possibilities. It's a blast from the past with Halo Wars 2 style, and I'm just glad there aren't any giant crystals. And visually, it tells a pretty cool story. There's all these destroyed UNSC barracks littered around the map and overgrown walls and whatnot. Overall, I think it's a really solid map. It's going to get a few points off because it didn't get added into multiplayer, but overall, we're going to give it a B. You may or may not know about Fort Jordan is you can actually get a scarab into cool places on this map. Not only can the scarabs go over these giant hills by the expos, but you can get the scarab up to these platforms that are off by the water. And you can actually have a scarab battle up there if your enemy has scarabs. It'd be kind of cool. Unfortunately, you can't get any other units up there. I've tried getting Reavers and I've tried getting jump pack brutes up there, but fortunately it's just the scarab at this time. But still pretty cool nonetheless. Ashes is one of those maps where you actually feel like you're on the Ark. It's really cool to see the Crash Covenant ships and wreckage scattered around the map. And it feels like you're in the desert. It feels like a hot map. I don't know if it's the map is just visually brighter than a lot of the other maps, or the way the light gleams off some of the surfaces. But it's a really fun 3v3 map. Something you may or may not have known is that there was actually going to be a mega turret on this map. Technically, there still is a mega turret on this map, kind of shoved into the right side of the map, and modders are able to find that there was script for being able to capture this, and there's no shooting animation, unfortunately, so it seems like it got cut. kind of at the last minute, but I think it would have offered a lot of unique gameplay for this map. I like that the mega turret isn't just at the center, it's kind of off to the side, so you can have a little skirmish over there. But if you overcommit or go into the mega turret, your your enemy could, flank around to your teammates. Like I said, it would offer some unique gameplay possibilities. This map does have 2 teleporters on either side that take you to the other side. Unfortunately, they aren't one-way teleporters, but fortunately, unlike another map we're going to get to, these teleporters are in the corners and not too close to your teammates and enemies' bases, so you can't just pop over and drop a base and then pop back. You can at least have some lookouts and have some time to prepare. So for Ashes, we're going to put Ashes in the A tier. A for Ashes, but just falls a little bit short of being that S tier. If it did end up having the mega turret put in, it would offer a lot more uniqueness to the map, and then it would be solidified as S tier. Highway. Highway is probably one of the best maps visually. It's one of the few night maps, and it has these cool bended bridges that give the map actual dimension. You can see down below all these sentinels kind of swarming around. It makes you feel like you're actually elevated, so that's pretty cool to see. You got the glowy crystals and blue shiny pits, and it kind of reminds me of Sacred Icon from Halo 2 when you had all the flood coming out of those pits. So overall, the map offers a very moody look, and it's visually very fun to play on. However, gameplay wise, I don't think it's fun due to the teleporters. So the map actually has 4 two-way teleporters on the map. There's these 2 random teleporters like kind of in the center of the map that don't even really get you that far. I'm not sure why they added them, but they're there for fun, I guess. Where the map really falls apart is that there's these other teleporters that just make your expos really vulnerable. Even if you put lookouts there, it's really easy for an enemy team just to send their army through, drop that base really quick, and then go right back to their side of the map. And it just kind of is like this back and forth tag, and it's not really very fun. It's kind of like a meme map in my opinion. It's just kind of not very fun to play on for that reason, but at the same time, because it is a meme map, it can be kind of fun. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain. A lot of people don't like this map. I don't have like a burning hatred for it or anything like some people, but yeah. One Easter egg about this map is that it actually doesn't change size no matter how many people you play with on it. So if you do a 1v1 on this map, you've got this whole big long map to play on. If it wasn't for the teleporters kind of breaking this map, I'd put it in the B tier, maybe even A tier if you could work some things out. But as it stands, it's going to go in the C tier. Rift. This map just feels cozy. It's the only other night map, and it's got all these cool lights around the map. You got the blue glowing light pits like from Highway, and honestly, I just want to have like a campfire next to a banished hut. That's just kind of the feeling I get when I play on this map. It just feels very cozy. It's actually one of the biggest maps in the game. Technically it would be considered the biggest since it has the most mini bases and the most expos to build on. One of the best things about it is that there's no central mini bases. You've got this big center area with dependable towers to kind of control the flow of the map. But personally, I think it's the best map to play on. There's lots of openness to the map, and you can fortify your expos with these nice overlook areas and deploy siege tactics. So overall, I think it's a really solid map, and it's going to be our first S tier vault. Visually, it looks pretty standard. There's nothing too crazy going on, but there are some fish, which gives it a little bit of brownie points. It feels kind of like a safe map visually. Not that it needs like Forerunner disco balls or anything, but it's just kind of like another one of those maps, and it doesn't really come to mind when you think Halo Wars 2, in my opinion. The center of the map is raised, which offers some unique gameplay options there. There are some teleporters around the center of the map, which again offers some uniqueness. Now, where I think this map kind of falls flatter gameplay wise, there's a lot of confusion over which expo belongs to which player, and I'll try to explain this as best I can. First player here, they're supposed to either take this base or this base. And then this player is technically supposed to take this base. And then this third player here should go all the way over here and take this base. So it's kind of like your expo it's gonna be a little bit diagonal to you. It's not gonna be straight across, but if you play with randos, you're not going to have a good time, which is kind of the motto of Halo Wars 2. If you're playing with randos, you're not going to have the best of time. But it just is really frustrating when people don't understand how the expos are supposed to be divvied out on this map, and you just end up with your teammates kind of stealing your expo base. In fact, when I was recording footage for this, the AI ended up doing that exact thing. You can see that blue and purple, they took the bases just right in front of them, and then green had to go all the way over here and take an expo that's like really far away from them. It's much harder for them to defend that. So yeah, even the AI can't get it right. So while Vault can be a really fun map to play on, I actually think it's really fun to do 1v1s on Vault. It's just kind of not there for me. It's kind of forgettable, so we're going to put it in the C tier. Frontier. Visually, this map has awesome visuals. And we got a beach map. I mean, come on. This map feels like a Forerunner water park. You've got lots of elevated bridges, and there's just so much flair to this map, honestly. It just feels fun to play on because the visuals are just so kind of a little bit over the top, which I really like. I mean, look, we even got some Forerunner toilets in the center. That's awesome. However, this is one of those maps where the start of the game just turns into a rush to the center of the map because that's where the majority of the mini bases are. One good thing about this map is it does offer these two kind of alleyways to the left and right that also have healing pads on the side. This is the only map that offers healing pads. I like that the healing pad isn't in the center, because then it would just be like a super like center focused game the whole time. But yeah, the alleyways at least offer some opportunity for you to flank around. Overall, it's a pretty solid map, and I'm actually gonna give it a B because yes, the center fight is annoying and not that fun, but visually it plays really well, and competitive wise, I know that a lot of the competitive players play on this map, so gonna give it a B. Fissures. Fissures is the other DLC map that we got in Awakening the Nightmare, and to be honest, I do not like this map. The visuals are the saving grace of this map. The lava looks awesome. There's flood tentacles on the map with all this like menacing fog around them, but it's terrible in 3v3s because your third teammates are always alone. They're like shoved to the side corner of the map, and it would actually be kind of interesting if you could control the light bridge and stop the enemy from coming to your side, maybe kill some of their units with the light bridge. But as it stands, you cannot turn off the light bridge, and you're just kind of left in your own corner, kind of always just left alone if you're that third player that's shoved to the corner. Or you're kind of like in your own little 1v1 while your teammates are over there playing the 2v2 portion of the map. So gameplay wise, I think it really is lackluster. Something that would make this map really unique, you had to take control of the drill in the center of the map, and if you could activate that, it would like pour lava pools onto the map that could kill you or kill your teammates. Just like a little bit of chaos, right? They kind of like a little bit of a chaos added to the map. Or if it called in like random AI flood units that just attacked anybody. There was a Halo Wars 1 map that you could do that. You could call in the flood, and they would either attack you or they would attack your enemy. It was kind of like rolling the dice. So I just feel like this map leaves a lot to be desired, and for that reason, I'm gonna have to put it in the F tier. There you have it. Those are my ratings for all the Halo Wars 2 maps. If you agree or disagree, please leave a comment below. Leave a like. It really helps out the YouTube video. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the link to the tier maker itself in the description. So go ahead and give it a shot. Maybe think critically about some of these maps and make your own tier list. And yeah, post them in the Discord or post them on Twitter. Love to see them. With that, we're gonna end the video. I will see you guys next time.